Friday, it's Saturday night, but I can't wait for Sunday morning. Sunday morning.
Hey guys, what's up? You're listening to the second ever DZ podcast, and I guess I'm the host for whatever reason, and my name's Rada. And you guys all remember Uresh Nomi from last time and Dakul Gohan. But today we actually have two new people joining us. One is another member of DZ, and one is just a special guest. And so if you guys want to introduce yourselves, go ahead.
I'm Irritable, but also go by David. I'm from United Kingdom.
TK here, DZ's best friend. Also go by SSJ3 Son. SSJ3 Son JP, yeah, and ZL, aka Zero Link, forever. Go ahead.
Okay, that's
in the face.
That's what I was thinking about. I was trying not to laugh.
all right.
AKA One Pablo, alphabetical soup.
ZFL.
All right, we gotta.
I'm just gonna say now that if you don't want to listen to it, don't sit here, listen to it, and then bitch at us. Okay.
All right, yeah, that's awesome.
Know what
Okay,
you did.
all right. Today's topic, we're actually going to talk about editing styles, and I guess maybe how they've changed over the years. The two most, I guess, predominant. That's a word, right? Predominant. Editing styles today seem to be the two extremes. Actually, like you have raw editing, and then you have heavy, effects editing, and like with editors like Decoy, although I'm not sure if he's working on anything new or not. So, anybody have any thoughts on maybe why this has changed, or?
It started Decoy didn't really start out as being an effects editor. I don't know if you guys were around when his first video came out, the end of Evangelon to Sweet Tea by Sode. It wasn't like any effects, it was raw editing, and then he just gradually got into After Effects. So, it's partly due to how easy using AE is now today, and like how most computers can handle it, but also because like a lot of editors just get bored of just editing the same way.
Yeah.
That's a bit more just in that development of software as well to help them a lot.
Yeah. So the more they get into it, the more likely they get into that. I'm sure he probably just liked effects to begin with, and then eventually just, after he learned how to do all of it, just started adding it to his videos. And then eventually just got really heavy into it, and, because I know when he was making those crazy ones, it was just to see how far he could push it. And they worked out really well and were well received because, like, a lot of noobs love that shit.
Yeah. And so, which is more enjoyable for you guys to watch? And we can just go down the list or whatever. For those who don't know, raw editing is primarily zero effects editing. I think the limit
sort of like most of my videos, I'd say.
Yeah.
Raw editing.
Definitely.
Well,
there are aspects where you have effects, and a lot of people like to say fade outs and fade ins are effects when, in the industry, I guess they are, but they're really not. It's an effect because it wasn't done in camera, is where they're coming from with it. So, it's hard, it's hard to draw the line, but raw editing would be mostly just cuts and quick black fades. It's probably going to be defined as raw editing.
I prefer raw editing myself.
Well, I prefer effect videos. Over non-effect videos. Effect videos, you can be more creative. In non-effect videos, you just have a certain limit, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, then you gotta look into how you define creativity, because, like, a lot of people would say, effect videos are really not any more creative than raw editing, just more time-consuming. Because, like, real creativity is going out, shooting the video yourself.
Yeah. That's
but,
creativity.
That's like
and
people
when it comes to AMVs, you already have the clips set out for you and everything. So, only thing you have to do is just move around the footage.
Yeah.
That's raw editing.
But, that's like people going to the extreme. Like, Enemy would say something like that, and obviously he's doing it to piss some people off. But, it does have its bearing. Like, effect videos do give you a lot more ability to make your own shit. Like if you do a lot of rotoscope, I mean it's overdone sometimes, but people that really put effort into it and make like completely different situations with the characters, that is a lot more creative and it's a lot more time consuming at the same time. But it's also, if you can get something different story without doing all those effects, it's also a lot more creative. So I mean, there's the two sides. It's hard to say.
You can't really come to a correct answer. I mean, if you've got an AMV that has raw editing and its mood and its sync and just how it works is great, it can be better than just an AMV filtered with a lot of motion graphics. But there's no perfect answer, in my opinion.
Yeah, there isn't. I mean, that's the whole point of the podcast, really.
Shh, don't tell them. Let them figure it out. There's problems with each of these styles as well. I think some raw editors tend to lean towards over editing and to the point where you really can't see what's going on. There's a lot of YouTubers with that, and then there's these people who think they're effects artists when they get into Vegas and just put inverts and whatever on their clips.
Freaking crossfades and everything.
Yeah. We're looking at the two extremes. Like, do you guys ever see the Macross Zero video? Forget who did it. It was with the Machinist Supremacy song Loot, Burn, Rape, Repeat, or whatever the hell it's called. And a lot of people called that over editing. I thought that was really good, but he did a lot of transparencies and overlays and superimpositions with very little effects, if any. It was just a lot of raw editing. And I remember seeing in the forum people saying it just seemed over edited because he hit almost every single beat in the song, which I thought worked really well for what he's trying to go with. But I mean, you could see where some people might say it's almost borderline, over editing.
Yeah. Well, because I don't think you have to hit every beat in a song. I think it's definitely a habit that you get into, and it's like a compulsion, because I know when I jump in to edit, I'm like, all right, I want to hit this symbol with a flash, and I want a TV effect here because there's some static in the background.
And you wouldn't do that. See, the thing is, you wouldn't do that in a live action video. You'd only do that in anime because it doesn't seem as overdone, even though it is.
Yeah, I guess
because it's a different medium.
Yeah.
So it's more acceptable in AMVs to do it than it would be in, say, an MTV music video, something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
In my opinion, a good example of effects AMV would be Metal Storms, Another Day.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Oh, is that other kid on good? I actually wasn't a major fan of that. It's good and everything, just not quite.
Yeah, you would be.
I tend to like raw editing more, but I mean, I'd probably like.
Lately you've been doing a lot of effects, man.
If you can find a balance, if you can find a balance, just using what you need and not overdoing it. But then there's effects videos like Niotex's upcoming video that I would say that I love. It really depends.
Well, Another day over the top. I really want because what it looks like he did. What it looks like he did. I'll just call him back in a sec. But what it looks like, he did in Another Day is it looks like he set up the scenes beforehand and worked on the sync with those scenes, and I like that kind of effects editing because it's compositing and then it's just normal editing. And I mean, granted, he had some flow and some transitions between it, but it wasn't and it was at least creative.
Yeah, and zero flashes were in the AMV, man. Fades, not flashes, fades.
Yeah, it was a well-done video.
Even more creative, which is even more creative than most of these AMVs that's out there, man. Because he didn't have to rely on his fades, do transition. So what about Spoil?
I don't think I'm that big a fan of Spoil. It's good, but
I liked Spoil at first when it came out. I loved it. But now I'm to the point where it's a good video and I like it, but I wouldn't go crazy over it anymore. I think Spoil had a big shock effect on it when I first saw it. It was really good.
It's something you don't see every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Spoil now.